Hey, so welcome to first episode of BDR Best Practices with Scott based here in London and Jimmy over in New York. So the reason we are doing this as part of Reach Desk is it's really hard for BDRs and for outbound teams to prospect right now. So we've come up with a few ways that are working really well for ourselves and the team that we want to just share out on LinkedIn as some fun content, just to have a bit of a laugh and see if we can add some value, some actionable insights to people's days. And so we're starting it with something very close to home, which is e-gifting, just something we know super well. So lots of people might well be using gift cards within their outreach, shows some unique kind of ideas. And for those that haven't used them, a bit of insight into the kinds of use cases you can tie these in with and the kinds of responses you'll get as well. So without further ado, I shall pass over to Jimmy for the first of our examples.
Scotty, thank you, man. So obviously, we're going to talk about e-gifting here. We're going to go over some use cases. I know a lot of SDRs, they struggle, right? It's so hard to book a meeting, and they finally book that meeting, and then the prospect doesn't show up. One way to kind of help with that, send an e-gift card before the meeting, whether it's Starbucks or Uber Eats. Put messaging along the lines of, hey, I'm really looking forward to catching up later. In the meantime, enjoy a coffee on us. Or, and you could set that ahead of time, right? So it sends right in the morning, and your meeting with them is top of mind. Another thing, right? SDRs and AEs all over the place are asking people to take demos. But how many are asking to have a virtual lunch meeting? Send over an Uber Eats, right? If you know the prospect's location, look up some restaurants, provide some recommendations. It's a great way to get multiple stakeholders together. Hey, I'd love to catch up with your team over lunch. People are very receptive to that, right? Again, so many people are asking for demos, but how many are asking for lunch meetings?
Definitely. And now McDonald's is back open. I don't know about in the US, but there's queues with the drive-throughs that are literally going down the road. So you can get someone a McDonald's voucher or a Starbucks now they're opened as well, which is pretty sweet. So second example, I think everyone has someone in their company who's really big on social. So here, Alex Zolli, a few of you guys watching may well know. Every month we do a kind of like seasonal raffle draw where it's a really simple thing. Tag someone who needs like a cocktail this Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Jimmy.
Mile.
And you simply just tag, your high value prospects, people who, the conversation's gone cold with, and then, completely at random and in an extremely fair way, pick out the winners of the prize and just get back in touch with them. And it's a simple bit of fun to just, get back in touch with people. And another little example of the types of responses you get next week, Tuesday, easy as that.
I'm proud of you, Scott. I thought you were going to say Cinco de Mayonnaise like you have in the past. So obviously now that trade shows and in-person events have been canceled, everyone's pivoting to virtual events. We spoke to a marketing executive last week who told us in the first couple of weeks of COVID, there's a 3,000% increase in virtual events. People are getting tired of it. They're all the same, right? You show up, you hear a thought leader kind of share their ideas and, before you know it, 30 minutes went by. It's like, and hopefully there's some takeaway, but why don't you spice it up, right? Add e-gifting into it. Get engagement. People who ask good questions, right? Teams that, if it's a competition, the team that wins, they get an e-gift card. And again, like following up on it as well. Like the days of just doing the plain Jane follow-up are over. Send over an e-gift card. Have people interact. We had a webinar last week. I sent one of the attendees an e-gift card. She followed up. Thank you so much. Like, this is so kind. The timing isn't right. And, she told me to follow back in July. But now I was able to provide value to her. She'll know who I am. And I guarantee when the time is right, she's going to be happy to take a meeting because I've established that relationship and I've been, able to provide value in the meantime.
100%. Now, this is a really fun example. Super simple. I think everyone's missing the pubs. Everyone's missing the bars. It's certainly the case here in London. I'm sure it is over in New York as well. But exactly. We're just celebrating, the end of a hard week in lockdown. With a wine voucher, with a booze voucher for them to either order to the house or go out to the supermarket. This is just a simple example I shared on a Thursday afternoon a couple of weeks back. 20 shares within, the whole marketing team see my video that I followed up with. And it was just a simple, hey, why not celebrate a drink on me? And, just a pun in there, a bit of a pun. And it's as simple as that. You don't have to get fun with it. It's just sharing a bit of empathy, giving someone something to make life that a bit easier. And it really resonates with people.
Yeah, and just following up on that, I mean, a lot of companies now are doing virtual happy hours as a way to just keep up morale and engage with each other. Your company has the opportunity to almost sponsor your prospects happy hour. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. And finally, you can deliver whatever message you want, right? If you're on your prospect's Twitter and you see that they're interested in scuba diving, I mean, this is a use case that happened to me last week. I sent over an Amazon gift card with a link to a scuba diving book. The prospect I'd been, trying to engage with forever, he finally responded and said, wow, that's so thoughtful. Like, again, just building rapport. Our colleague Nabila, she saw on LinkedIn that one of our prospects said, was talking about how it's a struggle to work full time and also be a mom. Nabila sent over a message with an e-gift card to Amazon, centered around, get your kids something. You're a super mom. Again, we help companies generate pipeline and start conversation. But in this case, our company was able to provide value and entertain this prospect's kid. So you can really get creative and just solve different problems and build relationships so that, it's no longer cold outreach. It's, you're just outreaching to someone you're familiar with, and they look forward to hearing from you.
Nice. Well, that's wrapped up so nicely. And that is my favorite example, the supermom. Everyone's talking about building long-term relationships. It's hard to do that through the digital channels. And so it's a real superpower to kind of have and use within your outreach to form a real connection with someone. So end of episode 1. If anyone has any suggestions around outreach or BDRs or sales in general about topics they'd like to see and some real use cases and some real examples, then we'd be more than happy to cover them. So fire any suggestions away, and then we'll wrap it up there. Thanks very much for tuning in if you've watched to the end, and yeah, we'll take care.
He's Scott, I'm Jimmy. Until next time.
See you next time.
Yeah, I think that one was a lot better.